Welcome, everybody. This is kind of an impromptu live. We're not going to be on here long today, but we're going to set some records straight here. I'm tired, man. I'm mad. I'm mad. I'll fill you in a minute. We're going to give people about a minute to get in, and then we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? All right, make sure you get your seat and all that. We're getting ready to get started here in about another 30 seconds, and we're going to get right into it, okay? I promise I won't keep you long. Shout out to everybody that's coming in the room. Make sure you get grandma and grandpa, auntie and uncles, get them all up in here because they're going to need to hear this. Okay, we're going to give you the facts. Okay. We're going to give you the facts. We're going to do that. That's what we try to do here on this platform. And just to be clear, just to let you know, ain't nobody paying me to do this. As far as I ain't getting no checks from Trump and all them because, hey, I need some. Yeah, that would be good if I would take it if they offered it for real, because I've long ago walked away from that whole world. I don't have anything at all. Trust me when I say you don't want to have anything at all to do with that political world. Those people are on a whole nother level. That work. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican. All they care about is themselves. They are a bunch of liars and thieves. I don't care who you go to. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's their system. It's a very wicked, demonic system at the end of the day. So miss me with all of that if you're coming in thinking that somehow I'm trying to get you to like a certain politician. No, we are 100% here about the truth, okay? And I'm tired, and it makes me angry to see how these people are constantly using our history. I'm talking specifically Black history to try to score these political points. And in the process, they're scaring up our elders. They're scaring up other people and having them walking in perpetual fear. I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. I shared this with our group. We have a group on on Threema. This is a book that I came across. It's on Twitter. I found about it on Twitter, but it's on It's on Amazon. I hope this thing doesn't show backwards. It's probably showing up backwards here. Let me see if I could get it to where. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this for y'all. Hold on. How do I do this? You do the mirror. I think it's mirror. There you go. That way. All right. So hope you guys can see that. It's called Cause Unknown, the epidemic of sudden deaths in 2021 and 2022. Yeah. I just got this book today, so I haven't really gone through it all, but I'm so glad to see that there are people out here who have documented what took place some years ago, that the thing that we can't talk about, but this is all documented. All of these people, these precious lives who left prematurely. And I mean, they fully documented this thing here. I'm trying to get some, when you go through it, it's just pages and pages. I know you can't see that because of the light or whatever, but there's just the names and what they said happened, cardiac arrest, sudden. It's just full of it. And then they have the newspaper clippings and stuff as well that, you can kind of see in here. Because like I said, the light, I know is kind of messing it up a little bit, but pages and pages. And so this is the book here. We'll put a link to it on our Samba Tree on. We have an Amazon link there. You know, I'll add it on there later on or whatever. But you can look it up yourself or whatever. But this is the book right here. Reason why I'm sharing that with you is because of the fact that it's stuff like that. See, I understand the cost that we had to pay. I'm just talking about, we're just a little level of talking about this kind of stuff, because we sat and we watched how so many elders, so many of our people were put into great fear over this stuff. And we also understand and recognize that there's a certain amount of people out here, because I'm seeing the numbers. I don't know if y'all tracking it. I'm certainly am. I haven't forgotten about that. You may have moved on to something else. I haven't moved on to this, because what happened during this time, this is more than a documentary. I mean, this stuff is criminal, what took place. And it's still happening. We're still in a fallout of. That's why I said I can't talk about anything else. I'm sorry, I can't move on to anything else. This stuff is still happening. And I mentioned this in a live broadcast that I did recently, you know, talking about the how a lot of time, I'm talking about my own experience, okay? When I go out, oftentimes, and then I know my children, they comment on this as well. When I go out, a lot of the times what I see, in most cases, it could be a very diverse, you know, where I live, there's a high percentage of white folks that live out here, white folks, and then you got Hispanics that live out here, and then you'll see some blacks out here. And I mean, I'm starting to see the numbers starting to rise in our category. But it's the ones that are like 60 on up that I see walking around with the mask, the gloves on, everything on, because they're walking in fear because of what this system has told them, you know, that, oh, they're coming after you. They're coming after you. It's coming after you. It's floating in the air. See, I don't want to get too far in it because I know how YouTube operates. So I know, you know, I got to probably stop there, but I'm just saying, I'm done with it. I'm done with the fear, and you should be too. So in this broadcast, we're going to talk about that looks kind of weird, man. This mirror thing, man. I'm used to being on the other side. I tell you what, y'all allow me. Let me get this mirror thing together. Hold on. This thing, it's just kind of weird for me. All right, let me see. I'm used to that. Okay. I'll stick to that for today. Maybe I got to get used to flipping it on that side, but it does work, because see, now when I hold the book up, you know, everything's backwards, right? Anyway, but real quick, just a reminder as we get into this, Samba Tree, we do have those 100% organic cotton sheets that are available now, man. People have been jumping all on that. Just want to make sure that if you're not aware of it, make sure you jump on that. 100% cotton sheets. If you go to Samba Tree YouTube page, you will see we actually uploaded a video where Nicole's going to do a video, I think tomorrow or something, where she's going to go into it a little bit more, talking about all the benefits of cotton and all of that. And so anyway, so that's over on sambatree.com. Make sure you check that out if you get a chance. Okay. I just wanted to plug that in real quick. Okay. So I want to make sure as we jump into this topic that we're talking about, I want to make sure that you got grandma, you got grandpa, you got auntie, and you got uncle in the house. I want to make sure that y'all there. You know, and if they're not here and they take a nap or whatever, that's fine. Make sure you show them this video. Okay. Because we're going to go through the actual facts of the matter. All right. So like I said, I want to make very clear, this ain't some, I just love me some Trump so much and I'm MAGA and all this. No. We're about putting an end to the fear, because see, I think the reason why I get very passionate about this is because I really cherish our history. Do you understand what I'm saying? I spend a great deal of time making sure that the history that's out there, that I'm doing my part to preserve it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is not being misused by these other folks out here. People are going to do what they want to do, but I want to make sure that something is established, at least here. But if you want to get the straight line on the matter, when it comes to our history, you at least got a place here that you can come to where we just putting it out there. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have no agendas. I ain't part of no group or anything like that. You understand? Keep your money. You know, I'm not out here, please, you got to send me some money if you want. No, you whatever. We're about truth. Plain and simple. So this latest scam thing that they're doing right now is they're out here telling black folks, but they're using our history, and they're saying that, that what this latest move that the Trump administration did was actually to remove some segregation protections against black folks. Okay, so, and I'm gonna show you, we're going to walk through how they're actually doing it. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so if you go to Google News, you can go to Google News, you can go to Twitter, you'll see the same stuff. Now notice, because we're going to take you step by step, because most people, what they'll do is they'll hear this in the wings. They'll hear this, people mentioning this stuff, right? And so the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to Google, like most people do, right? And they're going to look it up. Trump administration segregated facilities, right? Because those are the keywords. Many of you're familiar with whole hashtags and stuff, right? You see people using hashtags on like Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Well, that's also programming. They want people to think in terms of hashtags. So they just give you just enough. And then a lot of people, they'll just run on their confirmation bias. They say, see, I knew it. And so you just do it. So you go to Google, you type it in on Google News. Oh, and look what comes up. Let's take a look. Okay, shall we? So it says segregated facilities are no longer, and they put it in quotes. They put it in quotes. They do that for a reason. All right. Are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts. And then look at the imagery that they're using. This is imagery that will automatically grab the attention of a specific demographic, wouldn't it? Let me guess. Let's go through it. Would it be the Chinese? Nah, it wouldn't be the Chinese. Let's see. Maybe it would be the people from New Zealand. Yeah. Maybe the people from the New Zealanders. Or maybe the Japanese. Yeah, maybe no, maybe not them. No, black folks. And not just black folks of a certain age who remember these things. And when you see these images, it automatically puts something in your mind, right? It's like PTSD for a lot of black folks who went through this, understandably so. But those same images, they use it. I want you to understand how evil these people are. They will always bring up these images to ignite that PTSD that many of our people went through for political reasons. They do this all the time. They do this literally all the time. And then black folks who maybe did not go through that time, you just know enough. It's this black and white picture. It must be, okay, they're doing something racist against us. But I want you to go through this because we're going to go through this step by step. We're going to look at the actual law. Okay, that's what we're going to do in this short broadcast. All right. And Trump administration dropped policy prohibiting contractors from having segregated facilities. Here we go again. The colored only waiting room. They got that up there. Oh, Lord. Trump administration no longer requires ban on segregated facilities and government contracts. Oh, my God. It's happening. I knew it. All those black people who voted for Trump. See, what do you got to say now? What do you got to say now? I told you this was going to happen. Y'all bunch of ignorant stuff. Y'all need to come on back to the plantation. Not realizing the whole thing is a plantation. Here we go. Drinking fountain. They got the sign that got the whites going on one side and the blacks going on the other. Then they got this picture here. Oh, it keeps going. I'm just showing you we're going through all of this. So just imagine somebody who may have lived in this era. All they need to see is this. All they need to see, type this in if they wanted to find out the truth, and this is what they're going to be met with. And then that's it. And then the rest is confirmation bias. This is how they work. These people spend billions of dollars learning how to get you, to program you, to get you triggered. This is what most of politics is. So anyway, we can go through that exercise all day. We can literally go through this exercise all day, and I could show you exactly how they use imagery. And that's both sides that do this stuff all the time. I mean, take a look at what's happening right now with the Tesla cars, what they're doing with the Tesla cars, and getting people so in fear that if you drive a certain car that someone's gonna torch it and all. These people don't have anything else, so the only thing they have left is fear. That's it. They use fear for this stuff, and this is both political sides. Now they're using fear for this stuff. Oh Lord, I told you they're gonna bring back the stuff. They're bringing it back. Jim Crow is coming back. I knew it. Jim Crow ain't coming back. Okay? He ain't coming back. All right. So let's get into it. So let's go through what exactly took place, what transpired, because what they're saying is not accurate. All right. So here we go. So basically what happened is that you have, like in the 1960s, you had the president at that time, he drafted a bill. And in this bill, basically, and I'm just saying it very basic, all right, where, yes, among other things, now this is a piece of legislation. This wasn't the civil rights bill. This was not the civil rights bill. I think this was on Lyndon Johnson who did this. And we're going to look at the actual what happened later on. We're going to look at all of that. I'm going to pull this up. So Lyndon Johnson, he basically drafted it was either a bill or a executive order or something like that, but it had to do specifically with this area that we're talking about right now, and that is contractors who work with the federal government. And he basically told them, hey, listen, if you're going to work with the federal government now, you cannot discriminate based on race, creed, color, sex. At that time, what it basically meant, male or female. That's what it meant. Okay. So I want you to make sure you put an asterisk by that. All right. Now, so everything's cool. Everybody, moved on, and okay, good. We're with that. All right. Now, what happened later on, here comes Obama. All right. In 2014, he added something, and I'm going to show you, this was his executive order 13672, and I'm gonna bring it up for you. What he did was he added sexual orientation. This is to that what Lyndon Johnson did. So everybody was cool when it came to, what Lyndon Johnson established, right? It was, race, sex, creed, color, that kind of thing. That was it. It had nothing to do with sexual orientation. And what do we mean by sexual orientation? That means that if I'm a dusty big old man and I'm saying my name, call me Pinky, and I want to use the little girl's room in Chuck E. Cheese, I could do that. That's basically what Obama ushered in. This is why, if I can find it, this is partly why Obama, let me bring this up here. Let's see. Hold on. How many of y'all remember this? Let me bring this up. Bring this up here. I'm gonna pull up what he said. You remember this? Now they said this. This is in front of Newsweek. You remember this? This ain't AI. This is real. Obama, the first gay president. Okay, so Obama, this was the type of stuff that Obama was ushering in. And so he went to what Lyndon Johnson established and said, oh, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the whole gender thing on there. And that's exactly what happened. And so now let's go to Obama's executive order. All right, let's pull that up so I can show you what he did. Here you go. Implementation of Executive Order 13672 prohibiting discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity by contractors and subcontractors. Okay, so this is it right here. We'll just read the summary. The Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs is revising the regulations implementing Executive Order 11246 as amended in accordance with Executive Order 13672, further amendments to Executive Order 11478 equal employment opportunity in the federal government and executive, they're naming all these, right? Which was signed by President Barack Obama on July the 21st, 2014. Amended EO 11246, which previously only prohibited discrimination by federal contractors and subcontractors on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, and national origin, and required them to take affirmative measures to prevent discrimination on those bases from occurring. More specifically, EO 13672 amended Section 202 and Section 203 of EO 11246 by substituting the phrase sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity or national origin for sex or national origin. The final rule implements EO 13672 by making the same substitution where the phrase sex or national origin appears in the regulations implementing, and then it goes on. So Obama came in, and it's down here too. It goes right here. EO 13672 states specifically that Section 202, numbered paragraph 1 of EO 11246 is revised by substituting sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin for sex or national origin. So this is what Obama did. He came in and then he added this to what Lyndon Johnson did. All right, so you with me so far? I think this is clear as I don't know what. I mean, I'm not adding any spin to it. I'm, like I said, if you want to know, you got to go right to the details. You got to go to the receipts. That's what we're doing. All right. And so that's what happened. Now, fast forward. When Trump came in the first time, let me see here. He was trying to get to some of this stuff here, like addressing this stuff, because, you know, Trump, his first term, he wasn't really like he was going after a little bit of everything at that time. You know what I mean? But DEI wasn't really the thing that he was really, really going after. But when he came back, his second coming, he was all about dismantling DEI, right? And so what they did is his administration, they're going through all of these things that Obama did with the law, where he anchored in those laws where it says, where he add the whole gender thing in there, right? So it was this specific policy that we're talking about, not about anything else, literally not about anything else. It's specifically talking about if you are a vendor and you have a contract with the federal government. It is not this. Do you understand? Do you see the dishonesty these people are doing to mainstream media? They're showing all these people with water fountains and, you know, black people. They're showing every black and white photo that they can get their hands on to try to scare you and think it's going to be everywhere. No, this is only referring to contractors who have a contract to work for the federal government. So if you are going to a 7-Eleven, if you're going to a Wawa, you're not going to wake up one morning and go there and they're going to say blacks only or whites only, and then the colors in the back room. That ain't happening. That has nothing at all to do. This is a specific ruling, a specific executive order. Right? That's what they're talking about. So what Trump did basically when he came in is that they addressed that specific thing, among other things. And so when they addressed that, they said, we're just taking the whole thing down. I don't know why they just said, instead of just swapping out that language, what Trump administration did is they said, we're going to take this whole thing out. Now, if you ask me, I kind of think the reason why they probably had to do that, now this is just me now saying this, is because how the law was probably written to where they couldn't take it back out. They probably just had to get rid of that whole thing. You understand what I'm saying? Because if this was the case, if this was the agenda of the Trump administration, we will see that pattern on all these other laws that I'm going to show you that actually do protect your rights as a black person. Where this stuff ain't happening. It ain't coming back. It's over. It's done. And anyway, so let me pull up for you. Here are the laws. Let me pull this up on the screen. All the federal laws. I can't, we went through the state laws. I mean, we'd be here all day and all night on that. But I wanted to find out the specific federal laws that are still in place right now that where they're like, basically, nothing's coming back. They're not bringing any of that stuff back. All right. So let me show you. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. These are the laws that are still are way in place. These things aren't going anywhere. Civil Rights Act of 1866. Okay, and then they got Civil Rights Act of 1870, Civil Rights Act of 1964. And then here's all the different titles right here, right? Voting Rights Act of 1965, Fair Housing Act of 1968, Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974, Civil Rights Act of 1991, and the Executive Order 11246 of 1965. These aren't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. These things are all still intact. What they're addressing is one executive order. That's it. That was addressing that. So that's what's really going on. And you can look all of these things up. Everything I've shared with you on this broadcast, please take the time and look it up. But again, I wanted to come on here because no, they're not sending you back to 1950. Okay, that's not happening. The reason why these ass clowns are out here doing this stuff is because, again, they have nothing, and the only thing they have is that they want to scare the hell in people and make you fearful. And like I said, they're going after a specific demographic, and that's the older black population. Why? Because those are the ones that are the reliables. They always show up to the polls. So they're trying to scare up older black folks, especially with this thing, to make you think that somehow, oh my God, it's it or whatever. So now, as a black person, right? That's what they call us. As a black person, we can't even look at our own history unless we're really talking about transgenderism. Do you see how that works? That has nothing to do. That's what Obama did. Obama took our history, Black American history, and he bundled it up with LGBTQ. So now we can't even talk about our own history. We can't even deal with our own history unless that is a part of it. And you can thank your buddy Obama for doing it. So now, anytime someone goes back and says, hey, listen, I want to make an adjustment to that, because no, we don't want dusty men in little girl bathrooms, or vice versa. We don't want husky women in boys' bathrooms. We don't want that. You understand what I'm saying? So now you can't even we can't even bring that up. I can't even. So for black folks, if you're trying to communicate that, like, hey, listen, men go into men's bathrooms, women go into women's bathrooms. The way these people designed this thing now is that if you dare touch those rules, if you dare touch those laws, it automatically will trigger all of these pictures coming up to see what they're trying to do now, what they're trying to do. See, they're trying to segregate. They're bringing segregation back, because one day you're going to have black people. They're going to be in the back. They're going to be in the back lot somewhere, and white people going to, nobody ain't thinking that. So my advice to you, grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, stop looking at these bastards on cable news. Stop looking at them, because that's all these people are going to do. They're going to keep on finding ways to scare you and to put fear in you and make you think that somehow that slavery is on. I was looking outside today. I thought I saw someone on a wagon. And it looked like, I squinted my eyes a little bit. It looked like the wagon on the back of it was a cage, and it looked like there was people on the back of it. And, and you just, imaginations go wild. I was talking with someone of a certain age recently, and they just automatically, and it was talking about this conversation they had of someone in their same age bracket who started off a conversation like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. Lord, they're going to take away our Social Security. They're going to, I don't know, they're going to take away our Social Security, our checks and all of that, right? And so this individual, knowledgeable individual they said, okay, let me ask you something. Now, where exactly did you hear that? And then the person responded like, well, yeah, I don't know exactly where, whatever. And so this individual, they had to break it down to him. They said, listen, nobody's taking your Social Security. They're not doing that. I wish I can show y'all a video here. It's a short clip. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I want you to understand what's happening in the DC space right now. I already told you, if you're seeing a significant number of black folks, I would say pretty much 90%, this is just me throwing a number out. I would say pretty much 90% of the people who are out here just mad about all this waste that they're finding in DC. The black folks that are angry at that, be it if they're talking heads on cable news or they have their own YouTube channel, if they're mad at that, it's because they are getting money somehow, federal money from somewhere. Either they got somebody in their family that's a federal employee, or maybe they themselves are a federal employee. I told you the vast majority of the black middle class, are employed directly or indirectly by the federal government. So I told you, with this Doge and what they're doing here, by cutting these jobs, many of these jobs are going to be people that look like us. You understand what I'm saying? So it's understandable that they would be mad. We did a couple of videos on that, on why they were misguided into putting all your fortunes on the federal government. We've talked about that before or whatever, but it's understandable that they would be mad, but it's not right for you to use your frustration and get on these platforms and scaring people and saying, just because you don't know what the heck you're going to do with your life because you didn't take the time to plan for your own life. Don't be getting out here scaring these older people out here because of what you chose not to do. Of course, a lot of these people, I don't know what I'm going to do now. What my job? I don't know. They taking away my job or whatever. Well, fool, you should have been planning years ago. You should have been planning years ago and upping your background and getting your experience and getting your education so that if it does happen, you can pivot to go to something else. But a lot of these people didn't do that. So now here comes the hammer. Just like the hammer has come for all of us who are in the private sector. Many of us have experienced this, but a lot of these federal workers have not. But now they're getting their wake-up call. And so it's their fear that they're trying to put out on everybody else. And that needs to stop. And I'm tired of these freaking religious people who will look at this stuff and they will use their Bible to try to reinforce these lies. You got to call these people out, man, for real. You got to call these people out for what they are. Those are the real devils. But anyway, let me real quick, let me see if I can find that video here. I was just watching this video. This was, oh, here it is right here. Boom. This is a guy who, I don't think he's in Doge. I think he's a federal employee, but he works with federal employee. I want you to listen to just what they are dealing with in terms of technology within the federal government. Okay, let me put this up. Because here's the, okay, hold on, let me just pull this up. All right, take a listen to what this man is saying here on what they're dealing with.
It's hard to really grasp the scale of this because we process at the IRS about the same amount of data as a mid-sized bank. And a typical mid-sized bank will have somewhere between 1 and 200 people in IT, and they'll have an operations and maintenance budget in like the $20 million a year range. We have 8,000 people in IT, and our operations and maintenance budget is $3.5 billion a year. I don't really know why yet, but I will tell you that 80% of that budget goes to contractors and licenses. We cannot perform the basic functions of tax collection without paying a toll to all these contractors. We really have to figure out how to get out of this hole. We're in a really deep hole right now. How do we turn this around? We have a $3.5 billion operations and maintenance budget. We have a $3.7 billion modernization effort within IT. That's a lot of budget, and we are way beyond any reasonable cost for what you would expect at a private company for this.
What has been the biggest surprise? You, again, Secretary Bessent's, been in the business world as well, but he heard it from me. But when you first saw this, what was the biggest surprise that you found at that Department of Treasury?
I would say it's the disconnect between leadership and the people actually doing the work is a big one. I would say that it doesn't take a lot, just somebody who cares to solve these problems. You find contracts that are 10, 20, 30, 50 million dollars, and you just ask, like, why are we doing this? And everyone's just like, I don't know. And then you cancel it, and then nothing happens. It's just inertia has just taken over.
It's crazy. A mid-sized bank, and someone took a snippet of what he said. A mid-sized bank, we're talking about the Department of Treasury here, by the way. A mid-sized bank runs IT with, he's saying on average, 200 people and with a budget of 20 million. The Department of the Treasury, he says, has roughly 8,000 people and they're running $3.5 billion. And he's saying, as someone who does that kind of work, he's saying, I don't even know why the heck they even do it. It doesn't make any sense. This is just a sample of the stuff that goes on within the federal government. And let's not even get into the state government. This is just a sample of the kind of foolishness that has been going on for a very long time. Listen, I was just thinking about this today. I was in the kitchen. I was thinking about this. I said, listen, people, regardless of what side you are on the political spectrum, everybody loves to save money. Everybody loves to save money. I know I do. And when I'm hearing and seeing this whole monolith system, this government, and finally it looks like things are starting to get, people are starting to check the government for real. Now, again, let's be honest here. Okay, we're adults and we're mature adults, right? We're thinking, we got brains, right? I don't trust the government to fully vet itself out completely. That's ridiculous. That's like asking a criminal to give me an honest list of everything that you stole in the last heist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not going to get everything. You understand what I'm saying? So, but there are things that are happening. There are things for sure that are happening. There are exposures that are happening literally left and right. And you got black politicians, you got white politicians that are getting all called out on this. Different ones that are getting called out now. There was the one lady, she former congresswoman, they done found her husband was committing some fraud stuff because she's handing out money to him on the side. And then there was another one. I have a list here. I wasn't trying to go through all this on this broadcast, but my point is that, listen, it's all getting called out. A lot of this stuff is getting called out. And so this is a great thing to see this happen. And, one of the things I read, it was they're trying to get legislation passed to where if you make $150,000 or less, you don't have to pay federal tax. Now, why would I be angry with that? Why would you be angry with that? If you make 150K or less, they're trying to get rid of, you don't have to pay federal tax. And then what was the other state? I want to say, was it Mississippi? I think it was Mississippi. They're getting rid of state tax. So these are moves that, this is why I keep telling y'all, if you are trying to do something, this is the time to do it. I'm talking about building a business or whatever. Don't get scared even when you're looking at the stock market. I mean, don't get scared by that. Because again, this is the time where people actually invest when the stock market is down. If I had the time, I would go through it, y'all. I'm looking at, let me see my time. I'll do a few more minutes and then I'm done. Okay. It's so funny to me to sit back and to see how these people are railing after Tesla. And they say, yeah, like Tim Waltz up there, he acting like he getting all excited. I love seeing that hit the stock for Tesla going down, not realizing that in his state, the teachers union, their 401k, guess what's in it? Tesla stock. So you're cheering on the devaluation of your own teachers union retirement funds. I mean, this is the level of ignorance and stupidity that we see out here. You know what I'm saying? What was I going to say? It was something about robotics. Basically, listen, there are companies right now. I'm telling you right now. And one day I will do a video on this very soon. Because I know lately y'all been hearing me say a lot about robotics and stuff. And I know for some of you, that still seems like it's way, way out there. I promise you it is not. I promise you it's not. Let me tell you something. Tesla, they just recently had their meeting. First of all, a lot of people see Tesla as a car company. It is not strictly a car company. Tesla is a robotics company. And you're going to see within the next 12 to maybe 15 months, you're going to start seeing it in action. Tesla is going to be known more for the robots that they're putting out than the cars. I promise you that I'm trying to tell you how quickly this thing is changing. Let me help you out here. They recently had a meeting, a company-wide meeting. You know, I think it was like a first quarter meeting. The goal is by the end of this year to have 5,000 of these robots out. They're going to start rolling them out. 5,000. And that's going to mainly be used a combination of in the home and on the assembly line in companies, right? That's by the end of this year. We're not talking 30 years from now. By the end of this year. You want to know how many they are gunning for by the end of next year? 50,000. 50,000. And these are robots that are going to, again, combination of in the home and also in factories and manufacturing. This is just Tesla. There's over 100 robotics companies out here right now that are making similar moves. They're rolling these things out now. And so if you want to invest, I'm trying to tell you, I'm telling you where you need to be looking. If you're looking to invest. But when it comes to job security and all that other stuff, within months, we're going to start seeing some things. And I promise you, I'm telling you right now, it is literally happening right now as we speak. And, you know, my only hesitancy of doing a video on this, I'm like, I wonder if anybody going to really be interested in that, because when you start looking at this stuff, they're moving. When I tell you they are moving extremely fast, it's not even funny how fast these people are moving on this. So you can scratch up the cars all you want, but now you're going to have to be dealing with Sonny, you know, from iRobot. You're going to have to start dealing with them robots. And that's the next thing that's happening right now. So my point is that there's going to be plenty of things that as individuals we're going to have to learn to wrap our heads around. There's a lot of things that, especially if you're in my age group, there are a lot of things that we have encountered and experienced just in these last few years that we didn't expect. Nobody, our parents couldn't train us on any of this stuff. Our parents trained us, do your work, go to school, do your thing, go to, and get yourself a good job, find yourself a good partner, wife or husband or whatever, and then live out your day. No. I mean, they did the best they could, but man, this stuff now, we weren't prepared for all of this stuff. And the last thing you need are some ignoramuses out here trying to scare you and throw fear in your face. So this is why we do what we do here. We had the let me go here right quick. What's that? Journeyman and woman. Okay, I'm trying right quick. Let me just show y'all right super quick here. I'm just showing you why what the things we do to combat these liars out here. Like, for example, we got Claim Check. This is the tool that we have, for all things like relating to, there's a lot of people making a bunch of claims about they love using the Bible and looking at the news and tying all these current events to scriptures and all this other stuff. I'm saying enough of this foolishness. That foolishness needs to stop. It needs to stop. And so we developed a tool here. It's free of charge. You ain't got to pay nothing. It's free. And anytime someone does that, you can put it right in there and it will research it and within seconds. Anybody that's out here that has a video where they claim that they are teaching you actual scripture, it doesn't matter. You can go to a website and you can download their entire transcript. It's everything I'm telling you is free. You can download their transcript as a text file. Take that text, copy and paste it in, or you got to probably say, you got to save it as a PDF. Save it as a PDF. And then once you save it as a PDF, upload it to Claim Check and say, Claim Check, check this out. And I want you to verify it with factual historical truth. And within seconds, it'll point out all these errors or all the facts that have been established in that. You could do this right now. Okay, so we got Claim Check. We're also very serious about our focus is on people's health because if you take care of the health, you can also, that goes hand in hand with wellness, right? Your wellness includes your brain and how you function and how you rationalize and think things through. That's why we have this Baba Herb Assistant. Anything that you ask as far as like, what's the right herb for this? Help me to put together a food plan. What's the best restaurants in the area that don't sell, that don't cook with seed oils? Anything regarding your health. If you're trying to change your health lifestyle, this is it. Again, free of charge. This is something we built here and it's for you. You go to journeymanandwoman.com, journeymanandwoman.com. Those are the links and it'll take you right there. And then the last thing we built was called Pharma Guy. Again, free of charge. These doctors, I don't care if they're black, white, whatever. Some of these doctors are some of the most demonic people on the face of the earth because they will give our elders and others, they'll prescribe them these poisons and tell them that they got to keep taking it forever and ever and ever and ever. And you don't even know what's in these things. You don't know if the thing's been tested right. Did it fail? Are there any kind of complaints? Was there any callbacks on it? You don't know any of that. You just trust the doctor because that's what the doctor says. Well, this thing, all you got to do is put the name of the prescription, that drug that your doctor prescribed to you, put it in there, and it'll tell you all of that information. And then it will give you natural alternatives to those prescriptions. All of these things, and I'm telling you, are free. They're free. So we don't have to anymore be subjected to the lies and the fear tactics of these people. And I'm gonna keep on doing, doing what I need to do here to make sure that, people are aware of that. Let me put this in here. I'm putting a link in the chat there. So that's the website there. That's journeymanandwoman.com. You can go to that. It'll take you to there. And please use those tools, y'all. Please use those tools. I don't get a dime for it. It ain't like some kind of secret backdoor. I'm getting paid for every click. No, you just use them. They're there. That's what it's there for. All right. I'm working on some other things too. I've been trying to figure out on this end. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to get on here to tell you about. If you got on here halfway and you only caught part of what we were talking about, the main topic, just rewind and go back, okay? And then you'll see what we were talking about there. But again, just to recap again, no, they're not trying to get you into some segregated bathrooms. Stop watching these devils. Stop watching them. And I'm talking white devils and black devils, because you got black devils out there too that are out here and are spreading these lies. And they're telling you that you're going to go back to Jim Crow. They're telling you that slavery is around the corner, all this other nonsense. Tell them this: get thee behind me, Satan. How about that? Tell them that. And some of you got, when you get around your family members, the same thing. Yeah, and here's how it's all, and this is how it works out. It's like if you dare have an opposing view, or one that says, hey, well, let's look at it. Let's look at the detail. Oh, you one of them Trump people. You see how it's so binary? It's like, oh, I'm a Trump person now because I want to read. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Trump person now because I want to read, or I got questions about what you're saying. No, don't fall into that, and don't buy into that. You're using the brain that our Creator gave us, and I'm telling you to use it. And if you're listening to these people that are spreading this fear, you need to turn that stuff off. Turn it off. If you subscribe to people, all they're talking about is the end of the world and things are going to crash and burn. If that's all, then you need to leave them alone. You need to unsubscribe from these people. People are bastards. I'm telling you, I can't stand these people. It makes me angry, and it should make you angry too. All right. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'm mad, but I feel good now. You know what I mean? But this was a mission that had to be done. All right. And we're going to keep our eyes on this stuff. Anytime we hear stuff, if Trump is legitimately in his administration, if they're saying stuff that's kind of off, we're going to be right on there too. It don't matter, because it's already been established here that the government ain't our friend at the end of the day. It ain't our buddy. It ain't our auntie. Stop addressing these Maxine Waters and all them as your auntie and your cousins and all this other stuff. No, that's you already off by doing that kind of foolishness. All right. That's all we have. Thank you so much. You guys take care, and I'll see you again soon.